Hello and welcome. I am your host, JP, John Poz from the Two Man Power Trip. Of course, joining me, one of the greatest minds and bookers ever in the history of the business, the Games Master, the Taskmaster, the Devil himself, Mr. Kevin Sullivan. Kevin, how you doing today, sir?
Great, JP. How are you, my friend?
Doing good. Pretty nice weekend for WrestleMania. WWE had 145,000 people in attendance, absolutely killing the game there. Cody Rhodes selling apparently $1 million in merch in 1 week. Then Raw got a 2.4 rating, or 2.4 million people watching it, which was the most in over 5 years. The Rock is killing it, getting a $10 million bonus. What did you think about WrestleMania?
It was the best two shows I've ever seen booked.
Wow, high praise.
Yeah, they gave it everything. They went back to weren't the last two matches, meaning Cody's tag match and Cody's match against Rollins. They were 40 minutes, right?
Yep,
They went back to wrestling too.
yep.
Uh, the Rock, Cena, Undertaker, the Bloodline. It was done fabulously.
Loved the match, was great. And obviously, it can't be the same as last year because Roman beat Cody last year. They only had the one, obviously, Solo helped him with the run in. But this was perfect. This was the culmination of all the feuds, the Usos, Cena versus Solo, The Rock, The Undertaker being the conscience of WWE, right? I mean, very well booked as far as putting it all together.
It was amazing. Amazing. I think the mantle of Eddie Graham now falls on Hunter.
Whoa, as being the best booker?
Yeah,
Wow. And Eddie Graham, that's your mentor.
yeah.
You're the protege there. So that's really high praise.
I mean, it was before me. It was Watts. It was Funk Junior, uh, Dusty, myself. I mean, a lot of us learned under that learning tree, and I'm sure everybody was watching from above or on Earth had to tip their hat to Hunter.
So let's say you were booking it, you wouldn't have changed a thing. Basically, that's exactly what you'd want to do.
I couldn't have come up with anything that good,
Wow, damn.
and nobody that I mentioned could have either, including Dusty. It had a little bit of Dusty in it. It had a little bit of Eddie in it. Probably a little bit of Watts and Funk in it. Yeah, it was very, very well done.
As far as Cody winning, was that the right call? Did you like that? As far as him finishing the story,
He had to win. He had to win. It was one of those things. He had to win. And let's not forget Sammy and Gunther. To me, that was the most solid match they could have put on. It was fabulous. The whole night was fabulous.
very well done. That was a good match. I really wanted Gunther to win that one. I wasn't happy that Sammy won, but
Tell me why.
I
I
don't know.
want to see.
I just felt like if Sammy's going to beat Gunther, it's got to be some sort of fluke. Like if you look at those guys, like Sammy's, not in great shape. Gunther's this big monster. Like it should have been more of a fluke if he's going to be able to beat him. He kind
Don't
of
you
just beat him
think?
with his finish.
Don't you think it was David and Goliath,
Hmm.
the little guy winning? And here's the thing: let's not forget they're going into Montreal. The last time in Montreal, he lost to Roman, but didn't he have an
Yep.
entrance that lasted like 20 minutes?
Yep.
I think they did the right call for business because now Gunther can go step up and, you know, kick some guys' asses on TV. And maybe he's the first one out of the box for Cody.
Definitely possible. That's what I was thinking too. Because it's in Europe, it's in France. The next pay per view,
Right.
maybe that could
And
be.
In Germany too.
Oh, it's right. That's coming up right after that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe he'll be. Yeah. Yep.
He'll, and I don't think it was by accident that they clicked over during the match or before the match and showed uh, the fans in Germany at some hall watching the matches
Right.
screaming for Gunther. They're going to go over there in Germany and blow a huge house. I happen to like what they're doing a lot. Big events everywhere. There's one in France, there's one in Germany. I'm sure there's going to be one in England. Uh, there is one in Wales, right?
Scotland coming up. Yeah.
Scotland, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, so they've laid the groundwork, and I hate to say this, but it almost looks like they put AEW in the rearview mirror, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Yeah, and the thing with Punk, I didn't get that. What's the payoff? And you got AEW fans that were huge Punk fans chanting Punk's name after they showed the tape.
Yeah. What did he think that was going to do? I mean, that's just, there's nowhere to go with that. And they chanted for Punk.
Yeah. And there's nowhere they're going with this. I think the Young Bucks try to make the best out of that situation by trying to put it on FTR, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But I think once that tape was shown, and it showed basically, I don't care what people say about Punk being the aggressor. Did you see Perry? And I'm not knocking the guy, but he was in Punk's space.
Yep.
Not only in his space, in his face.
Yep.
And what was Punk going to do? And that shot about Cry Me a River, it led up to, I know we're in a whole different world today. You know, uh, it's love, peace on one side, and it's complete chaos on the other side. But what came out of it? It made Punk, what he said was the truth. There wasn't much but a push in a choke slam, right? A choke, rather.
Yeah. Yep. And it's funny because people were saying, like, because Perry was saying something, and I guess the people were saying, he said, do something about it, do something about it. So he I guess, had to do something about it. But Punk is right because somebody had the video from Ariel Helwani, the interview that he did, and the video side by side. And it went down exactly what he said, word for word. So I was like, wow, I guess Punk was telling the truth all along then.
Yeah, and you know, this is just being an armchair quarterback after the fact. Don't you think somebody should have done that in AEW, put the two tapes together, like you just said, and
I
show
don't know what.
before it aired? I mean, wouldn't you say,
Right.
"Uh-oh, this isn't going to come out right"? But
Right, show it to Tony and say, Tony, look at this. He's right. Like, don't do this. You're going to prove everybody that he was right.
yeah,
Embarrassing. Oof. One of the most embarrassing stunts I've seen. I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy things in wrestling, but that was bad because a guy on WB TV that was just a part of WrestleMania, you promote him, and then the fans start chanting his names. Like, oof,
yeah,
horrible.
and he caused McIntyre to lose the belt.
Which
I
was
mean,
well done. Yep.
he had all the momentum going into that.
That was just I just couldn't believe it because I was like, oh man, this tape must prove something. It must make Punk look like a liar or a wimp or something.
Right.
And I was like, oh my god, it was word for word exactly what he said. It didn't prove anything. Actually, what he put the picture of George W. Bush with the finger up
Yeah,
and he put mission accomplished and he put he was vindicated. I was
right,
like, yeah, he's exactly right.
right. Crazy.
Did you see Tony Schiavone's reaction?
Of course, his body language said it all.
Yep, man. And it's funny they showed him right afterwards. I guess they didn't mean to, but and he probably didn't realize it. But his body language said it all. He was like, "Oof, like why?"
Yeah, yeah,
Not good. So you don't accomplish anything, right? I mean, you're not building up a Punk versus a Young Bucks match here or a Jungle Boy
exactly.
match.
You're exactly right. It wasn't going anywhere except to maybe embarrass Punk, but it backfired big time. And
Man,
the only thing they got out of it was a rating. Now, is this going to be a backlash? this week? Will the ratings fall?
Could be. Yep.
Yeah.
It's all basically we'll see next week what the rating is. I guess that's the
Right.
big key.
Yeah.
Because man, it wasn't a bait and switch like I thought it was going to be. As far as showing the footage, but it was worse. It actually was worse by showing the real footage and him being 100% correct.
Right.
And I just can't believe that. I guess there's nobody over there that could say like get in Tony's ear and tell him not to do it. Like, hey, let's not go about doing this, or let's go a different way.
I think this is one of those things, and I can see Tony's side that he took as a personal insult with that MMA hour with Punk, right?
Right. Yep.
You know, sometimes you do things even you know they're wrong because you want to rectify the situation. Hey, I don't want to see anybody fool the tent. I want the guys to have a place to work. It seems to be a very good place to work for the guys. Uh, it opens up a lot of things. I want to see, too, if the houses have a backlash because of this.
Right. Yeah, I just didn't see a payoff. I didn't see an end game. I didn't see how this would benefit them or help them make money.
No, it almost made Punk bigger than he is.
Yeah. Yep.
He was the gunslinger that walked into town and shot the young Punk that thought he was the quickest gunslinger.
Yep. And Tony, he looks horrible because remember he said he feared for his life in that situation.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was like 15 feet off to the side. How did he fear for his life?
Well, wasn't the story originally the Punk came at him and knocked over some monitors or something?
Yeah, I didn't see that by the footage. That would have helped his
Okay.
case if that
Yeah,
happened, but I didn't
yeah.
see it by the footage. So he
I
either
want.
looks like a liar or a wimp.
I don't know where you go to rectify the situation either.
Oof, just bad all the way around. A really, really bad job by AEW there. And it was funny because the rest of the show wasn't bad. Joe versus Dustin, I liked. You know what I mean? There was some good stuff on the show that just totally ruined it.
Uh, a guy named Joe against a Rhodes in the main event after a guy named Joe lost to a Rhodes at WrestleMania.
That was the only problem I had with it. I said, wait a second here. He's just getting a title shot against another Samoan guy because his brother got a title shot against the Samoan guy. I mean, I liked the match, but the story behind it was terrible.
The match was super. I
Yeah,
mean,
great match. Loved it. Yep. Yep.
Joe and Dustin are in an own class by themselves. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I feel like Dustin is severely underrated for whatever reason. He's awesome. Even at 50, whatever he is, he's awesome.
I don't think he ever got the credit that he deserves because I'm going to ask you to see if I'm right. Do you think that Gold Dust kind of tainted him?
Yeah, because he's so over the top. He's such a crazy character. You don't realize how good he is. You think he's just
Yeah,
like nuts. Yep.
yeah,
And then when he was Goldust again, remember he did the electrified angle where he kept going ooh 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 ooh, and everybody thought it was so
yeah.
funny, but then they didn't realize how good he was.
Right. And then when him and Cody had that unbelievable match,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see why, with all this publicity, the Rhodes family, meaning his mother, Dusty Spirit, Cody winning the belt, why you wouldn't push Dustin a lot stronger right now.
yeah, yep. But it's good. Then he lost to Joe. Then we won't see him again for a while. That just seems like the par for the course for the booking that they do.
Yeah. And I'm sorry to see it because I really enjoyed Dustin. I mean, I was wrestling him in his bedroom when he was wrestling in high school. Uh, yeah, yeah. Thanksgiving, Dusty invited me over. And after a couple of glasses of wine, we went in there. We were shooting around on his bedroom floor.
Nice.
Yeah, great, great performer. I can't, and a great guy. I can't say enough good things about him.
Yep. And I like the roster. I mean, Joe, Danielson, Okada, Osprey. I mean, they're
Yeah,
loaded, but the
yeah.
booking is just whew. FTR. I love, but the booking. Whew.
And then you got Jericho. I mean, you got uh, a bunch of talent there. That the Penta. I mean, his brother. You got a whole shitload of great guys. And the other thing is now that WWE has signed, and I think except for Roman and The Rock, he's the most talented Samoan I've ever seen. Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. Did you see that? He may have signed with WWE. They're saying he may debut very soon.
I know for a fact that he signed
Oh, awesome. Nice.
because he isn't gonna show. He can't. He called Joey Cabibo, who he works for in California, for PCW Ultra,
Yep. Yep. The
and
Sheik. Yep.
yeah, I told him he could have. He can't even appear because he had just signed.
Wow. So he will be hopefully on TV very soon.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. He's awesome. The last time I saw him wrestle a few months ago, he wrestled Riddle and in like the best match on the show for MLW. So he's great.
Yeah, and let's compare this to baseball for a second.
Hmm.
The Orioles have 8 of the starters are from their homegrown teams, the minor league system.
Yep.
Well, look what NXT's doing. Braun Breaker, Corbin may be back up there. I mean, they got this is the best talent. I think it's at least equal to when Austin in the Attitude Era as talent up and down the card.
WCW was pretty loaded too at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Same
Up,
thing there.
especially up and down the card. Yeah.
Yeah, Hogan, Nash, Hall, Six, Ray, Conan. I mean, Buff
Malenko,
Bagwell,
Benoit,
Malenko,
Jericho.
Benoit, Guerrero. I mean,
Yep.
it couldn't have been any better. Raven. I mean, it went on and on and on. But they're coming. If they haven't exceeded it, they're damn close.
Now, Cody won, right? He finished the story. What
Right.
would you say Roman to Cody like if it's not maybe just a star rating, but would you say best match or would you say the tag match was best? And like would you say that those were the two best matches or the matches you liked overall the most?
Well, it's this simple. How many people do they draw?
Oh, a ton. Was it 145 in two
Yeah,
nights? Over 145 in two nights.
yeah. They didn't come to see anything. I mean, every match was very, very good. It was the best booking, like I said. But they came to see Cody finish the story, and they came to see The Rock and Cody, and they set that up terrific. Now, think about this: they can have Roman against The Rock. They can have Cody and Roman for the third time, right? The
Yep.
trilogy.
Yep.
They can have uh, Rock versus Cody, and then drop down just a little. You got Rollins, you got McIntyre, you got uh, uh, Punisher, Damian Priest,
Yep.
and you got Punk. You can mix and match any of those. You got Gunther ready to move up and challenge Cody, I believe. They're set for a while. And then with the new guys coming up, Jacob, I mean, you've seen him work. He's unbelievable.
Yep.
And then Braun Breaker, I mean, they're just bringing guys up, and it seems like it's a never-ending assembly line, and they're all look like stars. And the production for this WrestleMania was as good as any movie that Steven Spielberg produces or uh, anybody that's a big deal in Hollywood. You know, it's just incredible the production.
I feel like WWE always had like great production, but now it's like they're trying different things with the drone cameras, the over the head stuff,
Yeah.
like the virtual reality stuff. They always had great production, but now it's like easily the best in the world.
By far, and that's the thing. Uh, and I'm not knocking AEW; they're doing a hell of a job coming out of the gates. But when you look at them side by side, it looks like a black and white show and a Technicolor show, a multi-Technicolor show. That production value, I mean, that's why they're getting that kind of money from these streaming services. Their production value is better than anything any streaming service has, I believe.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
They are the tops, not top notch. And it's funny they did that video for Cody. He didn't even know about it. They just on their own made him a tribute video, and they showed it on Raw. I thought it was like, wow, that was really good production that they just kind of threw together without even getting approval to do it. They just did it.
right, right. And I mean, they do something, and 2 minutes later, they insert it into the show. I mean, somebody's working their ass off.
Yep.
Not somebody, a bunch of them are working their ass off at the production company. And I don't think they got their kudos as much as they should have.
Yep. I totally agree. Now, interesting about Jacob Fatu, just to go back and hint to him for a second, there is a rumor online that Tamatanga also signed, who's Haku's son, who
Right.
obviously, technically speaking, they're cousins somehow. I mean, it's just crazy they're all related, but they're basically cousins. There is a rumor that there is going to be them, like a new bloodline, and they're going to take out the old bloodline because the old bloodline failed the elders. I don't know if that's true, not true, but that would be an interesting thing, like to further the bloodline storyline.
The only thing that scares me,
Too many guys.
that and the Wolf Pack and Hollywood NWO.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you going to do? A Civil War thing? Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's been done. Uh, I could see too that they could do it if they keep it tight, like uh, Haku's son and Fatu, and maybe the other Uso drops out, and then you got Sokoa, and they somehow vote Roman out, which would turn Roman babyface because he wasn't a complete heel at those WrestleMania shows.
Oh, no. He was getting cheered. I was
Yeah,
cheering him. Yeah. Yep.
people were sticking their finger up. They were chanting Roman.
Yep.
Uh, Especially on the front row, there were a few people that were really anti Cody.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh,
Yeah,
man. I was that night too. When he came out, there was a ton of ones being thrown up and him getting cheered. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, uh, the best baby faces were the heels that turned. So they got so many factions they can go. They could turn Roman heel. They could, I mean, babyface. They can turn the Rock babyface and keep Roman heel. They can do so much, and they can have Paul in the mix where he turns on one of them
Yep.
or brings them back together. There's so many scenarios right now. I don't think I've ever heard this much excitement after WrestleMania.
For sure. And that showed in the ratings because
Yeah,
2.4 million. They haven't seen that number in years. And even 5 years ago, so many more people had cable. I think it was like 27% more people had cable or 30% more people had cable back then, too. So we're talking about a bigger chunk of the ratings pie.
and didn't they hit a three with Rock's interview?
Yeah, went up. Yeah, which is funny. People were saying it was too long. Obviously not. People were into it. They watched it the most. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't their interview like 40 minutes?
Yep. Yep.
So all these 5-star matches, have they done AEW, all the 5-star matches they've had, have they done a 3?
No, not even close.
And think about this. Before Rock bloodied Cody, they did this angle with 2 slaps.
Yep. It's all about great promo work and talking them into the building.
Yeah,
I love it. I mean, not people. Some people are like, "Oh, I want more wrestling." Obviously, the bulk of the fans want to see good promo, especially from the promo master, The Rock.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But Rock, I thought, did an incredible job being out of the ring basically for a decade, right?
Yep,
He looked like he hadn't missed a step.
he did look good. Yeah, he actually looked better here than he did a few years ago when he got hurt versus Cena. Remember that match? He
Yeah,
hurt his abductor. He actually looked good here, probably because it was a tag match. He could like go all out and then tag in Roman if needed.
right. And his facials and the way he
Yep,
got heat. And
yep,
you got to give Cody and Seth their flowers because they sold like they were going to the electric chair.
yep. Thing with The Rock too, he does all those little subtle things, like that little look out of his eye. You're like, "What's
Yeah,
he doing?" And then he gets to looking at the belt so he can look at Rhodes' mom, and like just
yeah,
little things. Perfect. Yeah,
yeah,
those guys, man. The Rock, Roman Reigns. You could tell that's why they are where they are. I mean, they're levels above, if you will. Like Roman says, levels above.
yeah. They are.
With
And
the
they're,
bloodline,
high tide raises all boats, and they certainly did what they were supposed to do. They raised everybody.
yep. So bloodline, you think is not done as of yet? You think there's more because obviously The Rock will come back when he's done filming. Roman will come back eventually. So you think maybe bloodline can keep going and keep it strong?
John, let me ask you this question. If you drew over 145,000 people in 2 nights, would you shit can what made you the money?
No, you're gonna have to figure something out with those guys.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But I wonder if Rock will have his own bloodline because he won and Roman lost. If he'll get if he's canned, you know what I mean? Like if hey, you lost, Tribal Chief, I won, that kind of thing. Because that's intriguing to me too. Because Rock can easily say, "Well, I won. You lost."
yeah. And not only is it intriguing, there's so many things they can do and so many which ways they can twist and turn like they did building up this matches that's why you're excited. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know which way they're going. You're hypothesizing that, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. None of us know until we see it.
Yep. Which is interesting because now we desperately want to see it. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're dying to watch SmackDown, dying to watch Raw. Yeah, it's a great moment to be a fan right now.
Right, right,
It is crazy though. Like Vince is gone, right? And
right.
Triple H has made it even better because Vince is supposed to be the genius. But you realize, like, man, maybe he should have been gone sooner. I mean, because Triple H is doing a lot better job than he did.
Yeah, and WCW had overtaken Vince, right?
Yep.
I'm not going to say it can't happen, but they got a long road to hoe for AEW to surpass what Hunter's done so far. And I
Yeah.
think we're just seeing the scratching of the surface.
Stephanie is back too, and she came out night two. Were you surprised to see Stephanie's back?
No, I think it was, the old Tammy Wynette's song, Stand By Your Man. She was coming out and giving kudos to her husband. I thought that was very well done.
I was reading today. Looks like she might be back in a corporate role as well, which would be intriguing. I mean, not that she shouldn't be there. Obviously, she helped build a company for many, many years, but she might be back in the corporate role too.
Uh, the Levesques and Nick Khan are doing an incredible job. And I read a little something of a blurb about Nick Khan saying they're open to working with other companies. Think about that.
Yep.
Just
Pretty
him
crazy.
saying that, even if it doesn't happen, means they're thinking about it.
Yep. Pretty nuts, but
Yep,
but pretty cool for everybody else if you're able to do that. And obviously, he let guys wrestle on GCW during
right.
WrestleMania week, and he was there. He was there with Brett Lauderdale of GCW, shaking his hand and taking a picture with him. So it looks like he has no
Yeah,
problem.
and he wouldn't have been there and taken pictures if he didn't get the okay from Hunter.
Yeah. Yep. What do you think about Linda though? Linda was backstage as well.
I feel so sorry for her. I mean, can she go to a country club without people kind of snickering?
Right. Yep.
I mean, she didn't need all this shit dropped on her at this stage of her life. And, it's easy to pile on Vince, but in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. But, you know, I don't think, I heard people say, well, this is going to blow over with Vince. I don't think so. The FBI and everybody that's been waiting for him to fail or flop or make a mistake, they're chomping on the bit now. More stuff is going to come out. And I feel sorry for the family. I feel sorry for uh, his kids. And I also feel sorry for his grandkids. I mean, it's tough. It's tough, that kind of publicity.
Yep. Pretty damn crazy just to think about like everything going on with him and then like looking at WB, it's like, man, they might be better off without him. And and all this insanity that he kind of brought to the table.
Yeah, and people are going to forget how hard he worked to make WrestleMania what it is today.
Yep, for sure.
They're going to try to eradicate him from the history of the WWF and WWE.
Sad, sad but true. As far as that, just I don't know, just so interesting. Like what's going on with them now. They got so many directions to go. Even Jey Uso looks like he's going to be getting a big title shot. He seems to be getting a big push, well deserved. So, I mean, there's a lot of different directions that they could go from here.
And I'll tell you something that a lot of people didn't pick up on, I don't think. The commentating team about I love pro wrestling. That's the first time I didn't hear
Yeah. Yep.
sports entertainment.
Yeah. Michael Cole goes, God damn it, I love pro wrestling. And I think Nick Khan said in an interview that they're going to be kind of moving away from that term, sports entertainment, that he likes pro wrestling. He liked that term better, and sports entertainment was more of a Vince term.
I think you're right. I think that, and not only did Cole say it, Pat did too.
Yeah. Yep.
So that wasn't by a mistake either.
So give me a grade for WrestleMania 40.
Yep.
What
Give it
grade
a
would you give
grade,
it? Yep.
1 to 10.
Yep.
I give it a 20.
Wow. Oh my God. Crazy. I loved it too. I thought it was a great show, but it'll be interesting to see where you go from here. Hopefully, that's not the top of the mountain. Hopefully, they can keep on keeping on because that was pretty damn good as far as WrestleMania.
Yeah, it gives them something to work for and to shoot for, and the guys are working their asses off, and Hunter is leading the charge, and I can just tell the difference in the body language. Nobody wants to disappoint Hunter.
They love Papa H, as he's referred to as. They love him.
Yeah,
The Paul Levesque era. I don't like how the Booker gets called the era, though. You know what I mean? It should be like they're saying it's either the new era, the Renaissance era, or you call it the Hogan era or the Cena era. You shouldn't call it the Booker, right? We shouldn't call the NWO era the Kevin Sullivan era, right? I mean, it's got to be the who's ever on screen.
well, the only thing I give it to Hunter for, they came over some trials and tribulations before the show that had never been seen before.
Yep.
The Vince thing dropped the bomb. Then they whether it was manipulated or not, the thing with Cody and Rock and Roman,
Yep.
when
Yep.
Cody stepped back and was going to give the thing I saw about that too, all those signs were exactly the same.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Possibly
So,
somebody was making them and copying them. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And someone was handing them out to people that were coming in. I mean, all those people that had the signs weren't under the same roof saying, oh, let's have a unified sign here.
Right. Of course. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I love it though. I love it. Good for Cody. Good for him finishing the story. And what a legendary title run for Roman Reigns. 1,316 days. We might never see that again. So great job by Roman.
I don't think we will.
Me neither. That was great. He's mourning right now, he said, but he'll be back.
Yeah, he will be. Bigger
So
than
let's
ever.
wrap. Yep. Do you think he'll be bigger as a babyface as far like down the line?
Yeah. He's a baby. He's almost a baby face now. It wouldn't take much to tilt him, especially the way Rock is working as a heel.
Yeah. Yep. Man, it's just to quickly mention this like before we wrap up. The Rock as the heel, he is like got a second life, man. He's just on fire. Instead of him coming back, he usually does like not corny, but the funny catchphrases and stuff. There's none of that now. I mean, he's just straight like fire. This is awesome for his career, I think.
I do too, and I think his movies will indicate that too.
Very, very cool for The Rock. I just love it. I think that this heel character might be his best. I mean, Corporation Rock was great. Heel Hollywood Rock was great, but this might be his best run as a heel. Just he's nailing everything. All his promos that he puts online, the one at his gym, F your story, all that stuff. Great stuff.
I think it's the best work I've ever seen from a heel.
Mama Rhodes, the blood.
Yeah.
He handed Cody something. We don't know what it is. Did he blow up his bus? Because his bus did get blown up during the week. I don't know. I don't know if we're
Yeah.
missing that part, but yeah, he might have blown up his bus. We'll find out, obviously. But
Yeah.
great stuff from The Rock.
It was
So
fabulous.
let's wrap this up. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Two Man Power Trip. Kevin, what else you got going on in this crazy world?
I'm going to be outside Minneapolis at the convention this weekend, the following weekend, rather. I just came back from doing a signing with Rob Feinstein. So I'm pretty well booked up on weekends.
And the book, Old School,
Yeah.
by L.A. Taylor. Get the book. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. We'll see you right back here next time. Have a good one, folks.